What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus package update, daily news, everything going on here in our country, in Washington, D.C., the economy, money, investing, the stock market, everything you need to know about on a daily basis. Remember that new videos come out here on our YouTube channel at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. And if you find these videos helpful, don't forget to smash the like button for us down below. We have a vote happening here today, a very important vote. We have Senator Joe Manchin, an update on him with the stimulus package, as well as the child tax credits for 60 million people. Very important things coming out here. And the U.S. reaches an important milestone that is not very good at all. Also, I'm going to be giving away $2,000 here with our What's in the Box contest this week. You can see that box right there. I'm going to be starting that contest here this week. So don't miss any episodes this week because I'm going to be giving you clues to what's in that box right there. If you can see it there behind me. So you won't want to miss any episodes here at this point. New videos come out here on our channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So don't miss any videos. We got a lot to cover here, so let's jump right in. Okay, first, as you can see here, the U.S. Senate is expected to vote today on the final vote to raise the debt limit or the debt ceiling. The final vote is expected to happen today. Remember, they had two votes here last week in the Senate where 14 Republicans and then in the second vote, 10 Republicans voted to help all the Democrats in the preliminary procedural votes to pass the debt limit in the procedural votes. They now have a final vote to actually officially raise the debt limit. In this bill is also a preventing a Medicare cut, which actually helped shore up some Republican votes here. You can see here, it's an age-old Washington trick. Pair the thing that the minority hates, the Republicans, with something they support, preventing Medicare cuts, and hope they feel the good outweighs the bad. Republicans didn't want to raise the debt limit in this way, but they all know they kind of needed to do it anyways to prevent the government from defaulting, and adding the preventing the Medicare cuts in there kind of helped get the votes done as well. Republican Senator Joni Ernst from Iowa said, quote, "It's a bad position to be in. I don't like being put in this position, but you know, Medicare is important. So is not letting the country default." So that is expected to happen sometime today, which is good news because today is December 14th. And if you remember, the expected date for the first possible default was December 15th. Yeah, leave it up to Congress to literally wait until the last minute. That's what happened with the government shutdown as well. They passed it with less than 24 hours. You can't make this stuff up. So if they pass it here today, they'll pass this with less than 24 hours as well, preventing a first ever government default. Literally, the Treasury Department would have ran out of money and the government would have defaulted. Yeah. So I'll let you know here if they vote, if it passes here. Our next two videos will be at 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fingers crossed that they actually get it done, right? Get it done in time. The clock is also ticking on several other things here. Next up is the Build Back Better package, the stimulus package. More than 450 groups are urging the Senate to pass the Build Back Better package, aka the stimulus package, before the holidays, before Christmas. And you think about 450 different groups, labor unions, et cetera, et cetera. It's literally thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people here urging the Senate to pass the bill really this week, maybe next week. But pass it ASAP. And a lot of that boils down to Senator Joe Manchin here. If Senator Joe Manchin signed off on the bill, they'd probably be able to pass the bill right away. Well, Joe Manchin had a call with President Biden yesterday and shared his concern on several different items. And well, here's a list of them. That's right, I said list. Number one is the child tax credits. He says that we're seeking a child tax credit that we, quote, we can afford. Kind of interesting. Senator Joe Manchin is telling colleagues the expanded child tax credit is the most underpriced item and the biggest inflation driver. Figure that one out. I can't. In President Biden's $1.75 trillion Build Back Better plan, people familiar with the matter tell Axios. Yeah, this matters because the child tax credit could trigger elimination of the program, and Democrats believe it is crucial to address childhood poverty. It is also an indication he's engaged with the White House about how to reduce the plan's price tag to a level he can support. Biden has proposed spending some $185 billion on a 1-year extension of the child tax credit, which provides families up to $3,600 per child for children under the age of 6, and for children ages 6 through 17, $3,000 per year. And as you can see here, the clock is ticking with 2 weeks left for Democrats to avoid a sudden end to the monthly checks for families, the child tax credits. There will not be a January 15th payment if they cannot pass this package by the end of this month in December. But Joe Manchin is still a wild card on the child tax credits. If they don't pass this next stimulus package, the Build Back Better package, within the next 2 weeks-ish, by the end of December, there will not be a January 15th payment going out to 60-some million children, which studies have shown 50% of that money on average goes to literally feeding the children. Now, here's the thing. There's a common misconception here that people get this a little bit confused here. So, number one, I get some people in the comments that's saying, well, if they don't pass this package, people will just get the $3,000 to $3,600 on their taxes or on their tax returns. That's not true. Okay, so number one, there's several things to consider here. First off, the big thing here is that before this stimulus package, the third stimulus package was passed, the child tax credits was only $2,000. Okay, not $3,000 for children above the age of 6 and $3,600 for children under the age of 6. Okay, so it increased it by $1,000 to $1,600. Okay, we don't even know, they haven't confirmed what will actually happen if they don't pass this bill, if it's going to go back to $2,000 or if it's going to go away completely. We don't know that because they haven't talked about if there's going to be funding for the bill to be at $2,000 or if it's going to go away completely. Nobody's confirmed that yet. Best case scenario is that it would go back to $2,000 a year, which actually cuts out millions of people because the criteria was different for the $2,000. Okay, you had there's all sorts of different criteria. Okay, the Democrats changed it in the third stimulus check package that made millions and millions of more people qualify for it. Okay, so including non-filers. Okay, non-filers now qualify for it and get the child tax credits. And more importantly, not only is it an extra $1,000 to $1,600, the monthly payment option is a huge deal because studies show that Americans are terrible at saving money, and getting the money every month uh, helps people spend the money on food, clothing, and roofs over their head and stuff. Where if you just give somebody $2,000 up at front, let's be honest, how long does that $2,000 last? Do you think that $2,000 lasts them 12 months? No, it's literally gone in 3, 4 months, maybe, right? So realistically, the two scenarios is if they don't pass this package, the child tax credit is either gone completely or it's going to go back to $2,000, but you're not going to get the $2,000 until literally a year and a half from now, until you file your 2022 taxes. Yeah, that's a long ways from now. So that's why it's important. That's literally just one of the reasons why they have to pass this package. Okay. Including all the other things, Medicare benefits for seniors, lowering the cost of prescription drug pricing, which is literally going to affect like over 100 million people. Basically, anybody that pays for prescription drugs, if it's not a new prescription, that is going to lower the cost of that, lowering the cost of childcare, pre-K, um, affordable housing. They're spending $150 billion for affordable housing. Um, Literally lowering the cost of healthcare. In fact, millions of people are going to get free healthcare. And we have multiple different advocacy groups and millions of people pushing for a fourth stimulus check in this package for adults as well. And we have a recent report that shows that there's potentially around $500 billion of old stimulus money still available that could be repurposed for something like that. They could use it for literally anything, like a stimulus checks for adults, or even in the future could be used for something like that, as well as something in the future. Well, they wouldn't use it in the future probably for Social Security raises, but we do have a very good chance of Social Security raises in the future as well. If you've watched my videos, you know that there are several different proposals now and a lot of traction gaining as well to raise Social Security benefits in addition to the average cost of living adjustment, the 5.9% for 2022, and especially with inflation really raging on, I think that that is going to be a very big possibility that we're going to see that this year, especially with midterm elections coming up in November. I think that's a very, very good possibility. We're going to see a Social Security raise finally. It's been something that has been pushed for, but I think there's going to be a very good possibility of seeing it in 2022. But the Democrats are trying to clear the deck for the Build Back Better package and to vote on it this week. Of course, the big wild card is mainly Senator Joe Manchin. The other kind of procedural wild card is the Senate parliamentarian. They are holding meetings with the Senate parliamentarian with both the Republicans and the Democrats separately, because this is such a big package that the Senate parliamentarian, her name is Elizabeth McDonough, and they're actually having separate meetings. So she's going to meet separately with the Republicans and then separately with the Democrats so that both parties can kind of plead their case on separate items to her. She's a non elected official. So they're going to basically sit down with her and talk on specific items like um, immigration, prescription drug pricing. I don't know if Republicans are kind of try to combat that. They might. They might just try to combat the entire package. We'll see. I don't even know if we'll know about this because it's behind closed doors. It's not like it's a public meeting or anything like that. But Republicans are going to kind of try to combat everything and basically plead their case to the Senate parliamentarian, who is supposed to be neutral. She's not supposed to be a Republican. She's not supposed to be a Democrat. And she is going to rule on these specific items, whether or whether or not they abide by the reconciliation rules, the reconciliation process. There's several rules in there, but the main rule is whether or not they abide by the budgetary concerns. Okay, the main rule there is whether or not they affect the federal budget. Okay, and whether they affect the federal budget, not by accident. Okay. So not something that is inconsequential. Okay. So in fact, the main example here is in the third stimulus check package. The House of Representatives passed the stimulus package and included the $15 an hour federal minimum wage to raise minimum wage to $15 an hour nationally. Nationally, because right now the federal minimum, the minimum wage, not just for federal contractors or anything, the minimum wage right now is $7.25. I think there's only 20 states that actually still have their minimum wage at that level. Even though the minimum wage is at that level, many states have raised their minimum wage a lot higher. And even if your minimum wage is that low in your specific state, employers don't have to have it that low. But some states do have it that low, and some states, um, a lot of employers just don't pay that low because 725 is just really ridiculously low at this point. But nonetheless, Congress has not raised it. Okay, so if your state still has it at 725, employers can still pay 725. So, but if I go back here in the third stimulus check package, which was passed this year, Um, the House passed it with that in the bill, raising the minimum wage for the whole country to $15 an hour. Okay. Then they sent it over to the Senate, and the parliamentarian said, nope, that does not affect the federal budget enough to abide by the reconciliation rule. It's called the Byrd rules, Byrd, and that's named after a senator named a last name Byrd, a previous senator. It's also called the Byrd Bath, Byrd, where they kind of it's just kind of a slang saying, right? So now they can overrule her. They can vote on it and say, no, we're gonna overrule you. It's actually kind of a recommendation that she has, so it's not necessarily hard and strict rules. And they voted on it to see if they would overrule her in that case, but they only had 42 senators vote for it. Now, if she would have voted, or if she would have said, "Yeah, it'll be in there," they probably would have had it in there. But generally, for the most part, they, whenever she says something shouldn't be included, generally there's not enough votes to overrule her. So just keep that in mind. It's been a long time since they overruled her. In fact, I want to show you this comment here from a few days ago from David Walton, who comments. Thank you, David, for this comment. Actually, very cool research you did here. David Walton says, Jimmy, the last time the parliamentarian was overruled was in 1975 by the VP Rockefeller, and it takes 60 votes to do it. So it can be done, but it is very rare. Wow. Thank you so much for your comment, David Walton. That is some very good research there. And I'm sure that took some very awesome research there. Mighty fine research there. So thank you so much for your comment. I seen that 6 days ago. You can see I give you a heart and a thumbs up there. And I'm gonna feature you here on the show because yeah, I seen it there and I'm mentioning it here again. I was like, ooh, let me bring that comment back up. So I searched for it and I'm featuring you here on the show because that was quite a spectacular comment. So yeah, the last time the parliamentarian was overruled was, let me see here. What is that? 25, 35, 45, 46 years ago. So basically, if the parliamentarian rules that something should not be in the reconciliation process, there's a pretty good chance it won't be included. But there's always a chance. It's just a very slim chance. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts on that. We got Joe Manchin, we got the parliamentarian, and that's really about it. I mean, those are the main things. We also have the Republicans and the Democrats. Republicans are kind of waging war over the budgetary gimmicks with Joe Manchin and the top line number. So that's kind of the new thing here that they're arguing about is how long these programs are going to last, the price tags of these programs, and really focusing on Joe Manchin, trying to get Joe Manchin to not vote on this package because really he's the key here. He's the key to the whole package. on whether or not he's going to vote. Kirsten Sinema's there too, but man, she is just so quiet. She's just doesn't even comment on anything unless you really pry it out of her. Who knows what she's gonna do either? But she's there. Sometimes you hear from her, unless she's being protested or something like that. But I mean, hear from her occasionally. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'll keep you up to date here on everything. Remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to start our What's in the Box contest this week, where I'm going to give away a total of $2,000 starting this week. So don't miss any videos at this point. Remember that new videos come out every day. So make sure to subscribe down below. If you haven't yet, it's completely free to do so. You can click here to watch my newest video next. You can click this top video on how to apply for rent assistance. You can get up to 12 months of your rent paid for, and it's available right now. And this bottom video is how to apply for utility assistance. You can get up to $1,500 of that. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.